Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Everton Daily Live Extra. Tuesday, 21st of May. England squad naming day for the Euros.
It's not.
Sort of. Well, the 30-man squad is getting announced today. That is a fact.
That is a fact.
Jarrad Branthwaite
Science
is supposed to be in it.
Yeah, well, he is in it, isn't he? Why did he do this? Why did he do that? We're hearing... And it's like, why?
Why don't they just announce it at the time they feed it to the press? Why don't England just announce it?
Why not make it like an exciting event? Where like they actually come crashing through like the thing.
I don't know about that.
Number one, John, and he comes in.
Just do like Brazil do though. Just name it live. So like all the players are like, am I in it? Aren't I in it? Create something. But Jarrad Branthwaite in the 30-man provisional squad, which will be whittled down to 26, is it? 26-man squad.
So just the 4 players.
Good, reward for them and the correct decision for you.
Certainly in the 30, yeah. Certainly in the 30, and it'd be interesting now to see if he can make it into the 26 man. Only 4. The main centre backs are struggling. There has to be like a transition, doesn't there? There has to be a crossover. Quite a few of this squad look like they're part of a massive sort of overhaul of the players on the sort of the fringe. Might be a few shocks. Rashford's not in there apparently. Obviously Jordan Henderson is not in there.
Ben Chilwell's another one.
Talk of Grealish as well, struggling. Might be in the squad, but struggling maybe to because there's a lot of young players who play in that position, don't they? That sort of not quite sure where they play position.
Yeah,
everyone seems to play there now. Not really sure where they come off.
Just play off the left,
play off the right. No, it's good for reward for him, and let's hope he goes the Euros and his price goes through the roof. Yeah.
Is there we'll come back on to Jarrad in a minute, but is there a shout that James Tarkowski should have been considered or certainly named in the 30, maybe not the 26, but looked at in the 30? Because
if you're going on
tremendous.
If you're going on players and actually what they've done, yeah, he should be in the England squad. I think he was named in the who scored best 11 for the season. And yeah, I think he should have. I think he's been consistently one of the best centre backs in the Premier League all season. The clean sheets again for the team show that. If people are going to praise Jordan Pickford, yeah, obviously from on the outside for now starting to praise him, you have to. And there is that thing of like loads of people will say this, loads of people will go, "Is there a shout for James Tarkowski?" And people go, "Yeah, he's been very consistent," but no one. But it doesn't. But it always happens, doesn't it? But it never gets backed up. Do you know what I mean?
Like Jarrell Quansah is in the 30. Now I know he's a good young player, but he's not had a better season than James Tarkowski, has he? He just hasn't.
And sometimes we do get... This is what I always think is quite funny as well about these things, is that tournaments are something that lasts obviously 4 weeks at best for the team, maybe 2 weeks. Now, surely you want a team for that tournament. You want a few players who are on form, bang on form at that moment, and are going into that squad and just like, I'm playing footy, and if I need to be brought on, if they are we a sub or whatever, then I can be accounted on, or even just good for the squad, as in like having someone like Tarkowski in the squad on when you're training and you're up against that kind of thing. And I know they go, well, continental players or whatever are different from. It's different in different games. It's not really, because we have some of the best players in the world playing in the Premier League, so you get used to playing against the best. Well, Tarky's played against Haaland.
Tarky had a better season than Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, easily.
Because I've seen a couple of people saying, well, Tarkowski's just not quick enough for international football, but Lewis Dunk is.
I don't think international football's quick.
No, slower.
I think it's more technical.
It's technical, isn't it? So.
No, I mean, I'm not
saying like bang. I'm just saying he's had a really good season.
That's what I'm saying. You sometimes.
That's all.
Like this squad, obviously, is being picked with mind for this tournament and next tournament, and I understand that. That's what you generally do is, there's 26 for a start, so you've got plenty to play with there. And what they should be doing now is taking maybe a couple that were on the fringes, getting them bedded in, showing them what it is, and then when the first squad for the World Cup campaign comes in, they come into the squad and people come and you build your team up to the next World Cup with the qualifiers, because you pretty much know that you're going to qualify anyway. You've got enough quality.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2 years' time, when some of these players are 23 and 24, then they're the first teamers, and the other ones have drifted out, and that's where you really got to look at. It's like Ivan Toney doesn't look like he's going, but for his age and the fact that he's not in form, that's the right decision. Now, if he was 22 and he just hadn't been in a little bit of form, then you take him. But you take a centre forward who's banging form right now, if you've got one. Even if they were 30, you'd take him. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes you need that in, and there's not enough of that.
So what you're saying is Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
No, I'm not necessarily saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but there is a shout sometimes for a player who is in form going to a tournament
at the right time.
You know, I think that's where other countries do quite well, where they just go, there's someone comes out of left field and the manager just go, well, we've got loads of players. Who's the lad for Dortmund?
Fulcrum.
Yeah.
No, the World Cup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was the left field one.
He was the left field one, but he'd been in good form before that, and they'd looked at him and gone, you're in form right now, and you're something a little bit different from what we've got. You're a big, powerful centre forward. We'll take you. And he made a difference in the World Cup, and look at him now.
Yeah.
You know, helping Dortmund to get to the Champions League final. So I do think there's a thing for that. Branthwaite, it'll be probably. I haven't seen the full thing. I've only seen bits and pieces, but you know, I'd imagine he should be getting in for 26. I didn't think he'd
26.
make. I didn't think he'd make 23, but 26 he should definitely be getting in. So and then it's
funny because when we done our video on him, me and you asked me that question. I said, yeah, he'd get in. You should he wouldn't. We'll see who's right.
At the time, I don't think it was 26. Me and John had this.
We did speak about the 26.
Me and John had this chat when you were away, and I said the same thing. 23, I didn't think he would. 26, I did think.
But there should be 26 anyway, really, because what difference does it make? Really, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 20.
Every squad just
it's 23 outfield,
3 goalies, don't
23 outfielders, isn't it?
Outfield players, so
it makes. I mean, makes
3 for every position, plus a floater, as they say.
Politically, it makes it a lot easier for the manager as well, doesn't it?
Of course it does. So
you know, all those players that are on the edge can be now called up and given an opportunity, and it's, you know, I give them a chance. It was up to them to do it in training.
Well, we've had this before, haven't we? Ben Godfrey.
Which is mad, isn't it? That seems mad now, doesn't it?
The Euros, wasn't it?
Yeah, that seems mad now.
The end of that season, he'd had a really strong season. Yeah. He played those couple of games for England and then went, didn't he? Didn't get called up, but it was a good end to his kind of first season.
Ivan Toney apparently is in, but
is he? Yeah.
Which I think is a strange decision,
but who are they gonna? I mean, if it's Watkins who misses out, then.
But it shouldn't be Watkins.
Shouldn't be Watkins.
No
who
chance.
Else is there then?
I'm just...
No, but I'm saying if
I'm not...
Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins. So who we missing out there? When you're looking at it that way.
No, I don't really know. Do you know what? I haven't really had to think about this. I really haven't had to think about it. I'm not, because generally I don't really care. But I've not bothered one way or another. He is... Tony's actually very lucky though, isn't he?
Oh,
he's very lucky.
Massively lucky
that Dom didn't start playing at Christmas
earlier,
and get into a real head of steam to go into the tournament. I'm just thinking whether they could have looked at it and the other way and gone, well, actually, we don't even need 2 centre. Well, Tingo from Newcastle. See, I would take him though ahead of Ivan Toney.
I'd never take him,
but he scores goals, Bass.
But he also. If he gets up and stretches to get,
I know, but he scores goals. And if you're the third choice striker,
but they want someone who, if you think back the other week when England played those games, who got all the praise wasn't Ollie Watkins.
I know, but it was friendly though.
No, but it was the way he played. Because he drops in and Callum Wilson. Can't rely on him.
I'd have Callum Wilson every day ahead of Ivan Toney in a 4-week tournament. I'd have Callum Wilson because I just think as someone who can come on the pitch and score a goal. He did in the World Cup, didn't he? Came on, scored goals.
I'd have Dom over Callum Wilson in the tournament.
The problem
Premier
is
League season, Callum Wilson will score more goals than Dominic Calvert.
I just think Callum Wilson is a better player coming off the bench as like someone who will come off. Someone's just mentioned this, Solanke. Why isn't Solanke in the run?
Actually, he's the one. Sorry. I was thinking who in the last squad, who I was saying it shouldn't have been Tony. It was absolutely Dominic Solanke.
100%.
Season he's had, he's been tremendous.
He's another one. He
should have been involved. Why is he not in it? Well, he might be, but
no, he
should absolutely be in this 30. But 30, we're not 100% certain now that he's not in it. So for me, Dominic Solanke absolutely should. Just scored. What's he got? 18 goals or something for Bournemouth. He should.
No, that's if you're putting like. This is the problem again. There's those biases, isn't it? And again, that's what we're talking about. Someone plays in form. Someone plays in form at the right time. And as I said, you got 3 strikers in the last Euros. I don't even think he used Dom sparingly. I don't think he used the other striker. I can't even remember the other striker was at the time.
Dom got on for about 3 minutes in one of the games or something. Terrible. It was terrible the way he used his subs. Terrible. No, it was though, wasn't it? I mean, it said when we spoke to Conor Cody, like. One of the games, why didn't he get it? Like the World Cup, why wasn't he involved? And in the Euros, when they went battered thingy, they were like 4-0 up against the Ukraine or something. No, they won before. The Euros, when we played in Italy or whatever. They were like 4-0 up against the Ukraine or something. The game was over. And he still didn't bring on lads who were never going to play to give them some game. To me, that was really poor management from Southgate. He done it again in the World Cup. Really, really poor. From at a time and using lads who you're going to play anyway.
I just think from a framework point of view, you have players obviously you're going to, but I think you should have a couple in there.
Wildcard.
Who are that last minute thing? Who are because don't
sound like you're from Manchester for a minute. Wow.
Don't people look back at 1990. Gaza was a wild card. People forget that Gaza turned up in the last friendly. And played really well. Brilliant. And that's what got him into the World Cup. And look what he ends up. And he literally took all that form.
Carried it through.
Carried it into the World Cup. That might be
Salvatore Scalatti, if you're doing it for
well, that might be, I mean, I'm not saying he's had it recently, but the whole season, you look at like an Anthony Gordon and go, well, he's come out of sort of nowhere and he might be the starter on the left-hand side for England. But he'll have at least he'll have earned it though. He's been player of the season.
Anthony Gordon.
He's been player of the season at Newcastle.
Anthony Gordon deserves to be in it. The goals he scored, the way he's played for Newcastle, he 100% deserves to be in it.
So look at someone. So you've got Solanke,
but Solanke
he deserves it much more than Ivan Toney. Much more. He scored goals all season.
It's why Branthwaite deserves it. If you look at it, Harry Maguire, and I know, and I can't really be too contradictory on this because I think it's one of the things Gareth Southgate has done quite well is that he has sort of been
Lewis Dunk's in apparently.
That to me is crazy, but hey ho, he's done well. Southgate in that he has been loyal to people who've done well for England despite the media outcry. He's still gone, no, well, these have done well for me and they know what I expect. Particularly around Jordan Pickford, when maybe Pickford was having a little bit of a rocky time for Everton. There was all the nonsense about Nick Pope and the other fella, Ramsdale, who, whatever. And he was like, no, because Pickford's been brilliant for England. And he's our goalie. And Pickford has been. And he's 100, I mean, he's if you glued the other two together, they still wouldn't be as good as Jordan Pickford. So he's done well with him. I understand why he has Maguire in, because Maguire's generally done quite well for him. Yeah, there are positions where you look and go. And that's why I guess there's I'm slightly surprised at Henderson not getting him the 30, maybe not the 26, because he come back to go to Ajax to get in this 30, didn't he? So he has got to move away from that. But Solanke, if we're talking about individual players, then Dominic Solanke got to be in that squad. But Jarrad Branthwaite, for me, has to be in the 26 because England don't have a really classy centre-back who's left-footed.
Well, he's left-footed, yeah. So
and Colwell's injured, isn't he, for Chelsea, who I think's a good player. So who else is there really?
No.
So that's why for me, Jarrad, he's absolutely deserves it. And it's why I think Tarkowski should have been looked at in the 30. I know Michael Ball said he's been playing with a few injections in the last few weeks to get through the season. Well, if that's the case, then if we're looking at it from an Everton perspective, and we do, then good that he's not going. You let him get rested up. He's got obviously a new baby as well, hasn't he? So he needs. well, be his missus that needs a rest because he's been playing footy, but you know what I mean. It's good for him to have that break.
Apparently it's a 33. Apparently it's a 33-man squad. Short list, not a 30. What's going on there?
Okay, just want to include loads, do they? It's a bit mad.
Yeah,
but hey, well, if Solanke doesn't get in the 33, then it's a joke.
I don't think he is in the 33.
Then that's an absolute joke, I'm afraid, isn't it? Because when you're looking at wide players, you've gone off. Saka's going to be in it, and rightly so. Cole Palmer's got to be in it because he's been tremendous.
Eze's been called.
Eze has been in good form of late. Although, I told you when I went to the overlap, I spoke to HLTCO. I forget the lad's name. Great fella.
Dan.
Is it? Dan. Spoke to him and he was like, Eze. He was giving it the all. Yeah, if you watch him every week, at least he's the player who we know. Eze's just like Mathew today. Job 6 or 7 times a season. But he has got that ability, hasn't he? And it's one of them, isn't it? There is a few playing those positions.
Colwell's been called up.
Colwell?
Yeah, 4 goalkeepers apparently as well. Because Trafford's in, isn't he?
Well, he's only in for that.
But he's in for the experience.
Yeah, well, listen, we'll see. Be interesting. Why don't he just release the squad then?
I know, it's
if
nuts.
the journalists keep throwing it out, we'll be able to piece it together ourselves, so what's the point?
I imagine it's because as the players are getting rung to be told, they're now leaking it. Their agents are leaking it, which is.
But they shouldn't be told. It should be this. It's getting announced live, and that's when you'll find out. The same as everybody else. Then if you can't hold your own water, then that's what happens. But that's the way Brazil do it. Brilliant. So they all gather around with the family, don't they, and wait for the name.
Well, that might just be for Charlison.
Charlison did. All the American squad all get together, don't they? And it's whatever. So
Luke Shaw's in it, apparently.
Anyway, Luke Shaw? Oh, well. I'm saying it like it's Everton.
Mark Gibby's in it as well.
Okay. Man, did they finish the season?
Well, Palace got 4 players, isn't it? 3 players, isn't it?
There you go. Shows you if
Gibby, Wharton, Eze.
Shows you what you can
I'm just massively surprised Andros Townsend's not in it.
Just because he played for Palace in the past. Mark Bright.
Yeah.
Call him up. There you go.
But that gets announced at 2 anyway.
2 o'clock, that'll be confirmed. We'll be covering it on More Than a Game. Of course we will. Big news.
Well, Nathan Patterson apparently isn't going to be in the Scotland squad, is he? Which is really, really sad, considering that he picked up the injury in the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
And he barely played all season, and he was probably looking forward to that massively, and he's had it taken away from him. That's really, really sad.
Get him.
I thought he would have announced him now again as one with 26 men, and the fact that I obviously I don't know how bad the injury is,
but it be fit.
But it was touch and go. Now obviously it is down to how bad the injury.
He mightn't be fit till the back end of the year.
Maybe, yeah.
And they're just like, well, we can't.
But I thought maybe they would have included him, but it looks like he must be out for at least till the group stages are over, because why would you have a squad for after the group stages if you're Scotland? Without being disrespectful and just being honest here. See where I think Michalenko will be included, because they will probably have limited amount of numbers and think, well, if you can get back for at least the second group game or maybe the third group game, then they might have enough. But it's sad that though, isn't it? It is sad that a player who hasn't played all season, or has been in and out all season, the one thing he could get his career going playing in the Euros, and especially as he would have had that position on his own. It's sad that he's going to miss out on it due to an injury that just occurred out of absolutely nothing in a game where we were already
getting battered
5-0 down or something at the time.
Happens, doesn't it? Come on, trying to make your mark. And sometimes you can goes against you, doesn't it? Sadly for him. But yeah, on Patterson. Buck says, nice one, Jerry. I presume he means Jarrad Branthwaite. Steve says, Bazzy and onto young Danish centre-back Tobias Slotsager. 18 and played the full season for OB in the Danish league. He has. Yeah, it's 6 foot, isn't he, or something? seen him linked with a couple of clubs, but he is only 18. I think he scored a goal this season as well, if I remember. But you're right. Another one, Everton could be looking at him. That's the type you want to bring in, isn't it? Obviously you want to get more experienced centre-back as well. But someone like him you could try and get. Don't know how much money it would be, but he does look highly rated. When you see him, he does look like a child. He is, but he's got a very young face. No, but some defenders look like men, don't they? Even when they're like 17 and stuff. Like when you look back at the Lit when he played in that final, the Europa League final, he was 17,
big rosy cheeks.
Like he looked like a fella. Tobias does look like a child, but he's played over 20 games, I think, hasn't he, for Odense, isn't it, in Denmark, and he's highly rated. 18 years of age, and these are the ones. Everton have all. It's difficult right now because obviously we don't know what's happening, but Everton have got to move forward. You've got a twin tracker, so if you're losing Branthwaite, let's just assume we are, then you've got to get someone in who can go straight in with Tarkowski, because I don't see the manager just going back to Michael Keane and going, but I just don't see it. Or Mason Holgate. No. Or Ben Godfrey, to be honest. So I think he'll want another one. But as well as that, you then go and get a real highly rated one in who you think in 18 months you're the one that's going to be Jarrad Branthwaite, basically, don't you? That's how you try to do it. Let's hope Everton are looking. I'm sure they are. We're going to have to. But that's the only way we're sort of going to progress with this. Yeah. We can't be defeated. I've seen people being really defeatist and going, can't do that, can't bring young players, and we've got to get experienced 30-year-old. And you're like, you do realise that we will end up in exactly the same place with no assets then and nowhere to go. We really will be in a terrible mess. So we have to think about the future as well. We can't just go, everything's terrible, we can't plan. We've just got to get all these free transfers in, because Everton will still spend money this summer. Mightn't be 50, 60, 70, 80 million, but Everton will buy players this summer. And I used to say that. Odense don't say, we'll take 5 million or 6 million for this young 18-year-old. And Everton pay like
that's how they do their business, isn't it?
And then that goes back into them. And I mean, I don't know how much they would want from, but Everton could be like £1 million down payments, and then you've got a real asset there to develop. I don't know, but there's lots of these players around.
Just a bit of breaking news.
Go on.
Greg's are launching a fish finger butty. Just big news. Big
Remember
news.
We had them in London about 8 years ago, and they were like 13.5 just in that pub. And it was
because they were on a ciabatta.
A ciabatta with three fish fingers and some red sauce, 13.5
That was then. Think
like
about it now, since Brexit.
Yeah, 43 quid now.
Yeah, easily. Probably can't even get the fish.
No.
Probably can't. Synthetic fish now. Not even real fish. There you go.
AI fish.
But I'm sure
Gary Waters had
Greg's will smash it with that, like.
If you say so. Liam says, all right, lads, just a thought. With Sheamus not having signed his contract yet, and his language of late being less certain, and now the talk of a pre-season game in Dublin with Sligo currently trying to raise funds in a very public way, am I way off thinking this is starting to look like a Sheamus swan song in Dublin?
How would it be done, though? What, he retires but plays one game for us in a pre-season game?
I think whatever, Liam,
would it not make...
He'll finish. This will be his last season.
Don't we not think that he'll probably bow out when, like, the last season of Goodison, isn't there like a symmetry to that he'll finish then?
Just on the website it says now he's going to sit down now and think about his decision.
Well, I just think that it makes more sense. But sometimes players or anyone in any sport can make a decision in their head in the midst of something. Yes, it might be yes or no, and you know, then they go away and they have a look at things in the cold hard light. You know, Tyson Fury's running around a ring saying he's going to do a rematch, but he might walk away and go, oh, no, I don't fancy that again, actually, or the other fella might think that
they'll do another one. It's another huge payday for arsing about.
It's not arsing about, though, is it? You're hit in the face quite hard.
Arsing about.
Doesn't mean they have to do it. No, why would he always do it?
I mean, Tyson Fury surely doesn't need the money. And
exactly. They both don't need the money. And also,
I'm with you, Ned. I think.
And also, it won't be undisputed because he loses 2 the belts in 2 weeks.
I know.
He might pack in. He might go off won everything now. Why do I need to prove myself?
Okay. Chris Davis says, afternoon, lads. I watched the under-18s batter Newcastle 8-0. Surely at least one of these will make it into the squad over the next 2 years.
Why?
I wouldn't say surely, but hopefully they will. Hopefully there's 3 or 4 would. But right now, I don't think there's anyone.
No one stands out,
There's one, and I can't even remember his name. That's how. But he's been mentioned 3 or 4 times.
Sounds really good.
See me over the last couple. He's one who they really like. It'll come back to me in a minute. But people develop at different times, don't they? Hopefully they will, Chris. Hopefully there'll be more. But we need some under 21s making it into the first team squad, really, don't we? Steve says, all right, lads, hope you're both well. Good news for Jarrad Branthwaite. Do we know what the Carlisle sell on is? I've heard 5%, I've heard 10%. But I don't actually know. It's the reality. I'll try and find out, Steve. I'll try and find out. Yeah, he did. Actually, have a little search, Ned. Because their owner did confirm it, didn't he?
Ned will come up with like the McDonald's in Carlisle or something.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right if he does. Where fish finger butties were. Steve P says, Baz, a few notable players whose contracts are expiring, I think, could improve our squad. Daichi Kamada, 100%. Juan Miranda, and Diddy, yes. Session, yes. I'd say Session. Can play left wing, left back's only 24. He had 2 operations on his hamstring in the last 12 is an issue.
Have you seen the t-shirt Ned's wearing?
No, I haven't looked at it. No, we won't be on camera.
It says, I am terrified of women.
Luka Jovic, Gabriel Barbosa, Gabigol, Leandro Barreiro, Christian Kouamé. Never thought I'd say it, but Chris would. I'd genuinely take him if we let Beto go, as it actually makes sense for the season, especially how we play under Dyche. Didn't he get 14 goals?
14 goals.
I know you've mentioned him over the last couple of years, haven't you? He's a very basic striker.
Agricultural.
Yeah, was the word I was going to use, and I changed it. But he would do. He would. You shut up. You.
Do you think he's better than Beto?
I think Beto's got potential to be better than him. But I think right now he will be a safer bet than Beto because you know what he's doing. I have seen him in 2 of the last 3 games.
No, he's missed some
blazing over the bar from a yard out.
Sitters.
Absolute terrible finisher.
He misses some absolute sitters.
But he's a handful, isn't he? Yeah. Rich says, all right, lads. First time as a Premier member watching.
Ooh, nice one, Rich.
It's right, Rich. Been a fan for years. Love the content and the desire delivered for our fans week in and week out. Great work. Thank you very much, Rich. Yeah. Much appreciated, mate. We'll be here all summer, of course, as well. Graham says, hi, lads. Good to see you've moved the tree. Loves the full screen. Professor Poopy Pants says, lots of nonsense online today saying United are going to put a £55 million bid in for Branthwaite. He's got to be worth more than that and probably worth more than Onana. How would you value them both? What I would say is it wouldn't surprise me if they put a bid in like that, and it wouldn't surprise me if Everton accepted those numbers. I don't agree with them. It should be way higher.
Yeah.
I'd be wanting 75 for Branthwaite because I think he's a rarity. And Onana 55 plus.
See, what I'd do is, and this wouldn't apply to Manchester United, is I might be willing to sell at 55 to City, but I'd want like £3 million every time he wins the league, like we did with Rooney.
Big add-ons.
Big add-ons. You know, every time something big happens, I want a couple of £1 million. Did you hear Real Madrid are going to have to pay Hazard, if they win the Champions League, something like 15 million quid. Because it's in his contract, and his contract's still valid. Stuff like, so I'd have something like that, but obviously if he goes to Man United, it doesn't apply because they're not going to win a thing.
I'll be honest, I don't think United can afford him. And that's one.
They'd have to make him their marquee, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and I think they
don't mean like holding up a big
no, that'd
tent.
be a bit odd if he just stood holding the tent up.
Do it though.
I think they're midfield. They've made priorities. I don't think Branthwaite. I think they're trying to get Troyson out of the bio on a free. Who's leaving Fulham. I think they'd go for someone not younger than Branthwaite, cheaper than Branthwaite. Mark says start, bench and sell. You ready? World in motion, 3 lions, and God save the king. I'd sell God save the king. I'd bench World in motion and start 3 lines. For me personally.
No, I'd start World in motion.
Okay.
Bench 3 lines.
And sell God save the king. Okay.
Well, you say sell.
Well, you know, they were the 3 options. Paul says I wouldn't sell Branthwaite or Onana unless it's the price we want. But if we have to sell, I wouldn't sell just for PSR. I'd tell the Prem to do one and say, we'll take the points reduction. Thanks.
You can't really do that though, can you? I mean,
Forrest did.
Yeah, but you can't.
We won't do it because we've been done before, so that is not an option. Everton won't do it. Whether I agree with you or not, Everton won't do that.
I don't think we can do it. I think other teams can do it. I think Villa could do it, or Newcastle could maybe get away with it.
I just don't think they will.
No, I don't.
I think everyone will agree to play by the rules, and therefore, whether we like it or not. See, the real disadvantage of this is, as well, it's not only that those players lose, those clubs lose those good players. It's that the big 6, the powerful 6, the rich 6, whatever you want to call them, the 6 with the most disposable income, get those players on the cheap. That's what's mad. Yeah. When really, if you really, I know you wouldn't be able to do this, but if you really were,
that's why it shouldn't be rolling.
No, what I'm going to say, if you really were looking after the best interest of every club from a financial thing, say Everton had to sell Jarrad Branthwaite by the 30th of June.
Yeah.
Right? If it's a team in the top 6, then their premium should be 20 million more than anybody else. Now.
No, but
otherwise they just bully you.
It's why it shouldn't be rolling 3 years. You could have it 3 years, 3 set years, and you should have the ability in those 3 years, if you want, to sell big, buy big, whatever, in whatever way you want. The rolling one, you can never get out of it.
You can't get out of it.
You can't get out of it. You can't. It's like a
purgatory.
It's like when people get a loan to pay another loan and they just can't get, they're stuck in this cycle of debt. You can't get out of it. There's no way of getting out of it.
And I think once you're hammered with points deductions, it should reset because that's your punishment. Do you know what I mean? You've chucked the punishment, so it should reset that.
I just think if it was 3 years, or if it was reset, I just think if it was every 3 years, because then
how would you do it?
Well, you'd have a set 3 years. You'd have a set 3 years. We wouldn't have to be worrying this year. We'd say, right, we got hit that year, and now we've got 3 years to sort out. So it gives you 3 years to sort yourself out, knowing you're not going to be punished again. So Branthwaite.
So on June the 30th, 2027, Everton have to be under 105 million losses.
They're combined for the 3 years.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So
it's 105 a year, isn't it? It's 105 a year, is it?
No.
Okay, whatever it is.
It's over 3 years.
Yeah. So when you get to that, because then there'd be no pressure on us to sell this year.
What they would say, you're right, and it's not bad. But what they would say is, what if a club gets themselves spends for 2 seasons and the 250 million?
Well, then in the last year,
got Audi raising 250 million.
Well, they're not, and they're going to get punished heavily.
Okay.
But the point being is that we wouldn't have to sell Jarrad Branthwaite this year.
No.
And we wouldn't. There wouldn't be an arbitrary date this year where we're like, oh, you got to sell him. We'd go, no. Well, if we keep him for another year and he wants to stay for another year, and we're all happy, the next summer we'll make an extra 20 million on him. This is what Forrest argued. Is that the line cuts right down the summer? It's the most stupidest.
With Richarlison,
it's the most stupidest thing.
We lost.
No, I know, but
no matter what anyone says, Everton lost at least £15 million on Richarlison.
It's the most stupidest thing to think that your transfer, this line should be right through the middle of your summer. It should start on the 1st of January. And end at the 1st of January. That way you get 2 full transfer windows in it.
Business,
At the moment, we're not. We're getting one transfer. We're getting one short transfer that no one buys in anyway. And certainly we've seen that summer in the winter. And we've got a summer one where it's like, well, we'll wait for that line because the big clubs will just be sitting there going, well, it doesn't really matter because we can buy before and we can buy after. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's crap.
It's so stupid. Or it should at least, if not, end on the 30th of January to cut through the busiest period of buying and selling.
No, the year makes sense.
Crackers.
The year makes sense because you're doing all your buying.
But I'd have it every 3 years without this rolling because, as I said, how can you ever get out of it?
You can't right the wrongs, can you?
You can't.
There's no way. We're still suffering from 3 years ago.
And there's no way we can get out of it. You can't plan because 3 years you go. Well, I can plan for that. It's not a. I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's not like a suspended sentence. But it is in a way because it's like, well, you get punished, sound. If you get punished, and then you've got 3 years to put your house in order. And football takes that long to sort yourself out. You could say, right, this is our business plan in a way. In 3 years, over the 3 years, we're gonna buy young, and then we're gonna for cheap, and then we're gonna sell them on over, but they'll need 3 years to get them from a couple of million quid to 30, 40, 50 million quid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It just doesn't make any sense why they've put rolling in there. And I know it's changing, but I don't think it's changing by that much that you can be going, oh, we're going to get it next year. We're going to get it next year. Don't forget, like, we're Everton are £10 million down this year because
of the Premier League.
Because of the Premier League. So we've been hit doubly. Again, yeah. It's crackers. The whole thing is just a farce.
1878 Blues says there's lockdown in Everton in the community because of gunshots. Hope everyone's all right, including my family members.
There's what?
Says there's Everton in the community have locked down because there's gunshots outside or whatever. I don't know. Hopefully, everyone is all right if there's that. Sophie, that Don fella, he's a red, isn't he? Obviously, as you said, but it was a bit odd. He was a bit odd. You know, they've lost any kind of decent conversation when they say you've cheated. The minute he put the cheated out, you know that they've not got a clue what they're talking about. Chatting nonsense, then come back and said Spurs built their stadium and didn't fail PSR. Because Spurs took a loan for the stadium, mate. Totally different. I mentioned Arsenal with the Emirates. Nearly 20 years ago. Stadiums cost money. Weird.
Crazy.
Weird people. Weird people. Ian says Darlington are at £103,000 now the fans have raised for their football club. Nice. Outstanding, Ian. Steve Watson, of course, former Everton player, is the Darlington manager. They've done a tremendous job keeping them up. Garrett says, hi lads, great shows always. Just sitting in work watching you guys in the sun eating an Eccles cake from guess where?
Popsy
Bacon. Can't wait to see Ned take on the Seagulls. That's the one. That is the one. It's incredible. Everton fan says, Baz, here's what Everton's next 4 years are. Next season, 8th. 25-26 season, top 4.
Fair play.
26-27, title challenge. 27-28, title. Fair play, Everton fan.
That's
fair play.
Some heavy stuff you're smoking.
I'm loving it. Irish Evertonian loves the new studio design. Thank you, mate. Curtis says, one of the most cutting-edge reports on Toffee TV. Get all your Greg's announcements here.
listen, you've got to mix it up when it comes to the news.
You've got to.
And I think
we'll always break news.
That's a public service. You come here, we're on YouTube, we're live to the world. You've got to have these public service announcements. Because how else would you get your news? Not through MSM. Oh my God, no chance. You can't be watching that. They just lie.
I mean,
we're giving you the truth straight in it.
This is it. What can you do? What can you do? Where are we here? Nathan says...
Can I just break in with some more breaking news?
Go on.
Brian Garside just sent me a 6-minute video.
Fair play to him. We don't know what it is, but fair play, Bryce.
I'm going to let Ned watch that.
Nathan says I'm really hoping to make it to a game at Goodison next season. I don't know what I'd be more excited about, going to a game or meeting you lads. Got to be the game, surely. If you're coming over, Nate, come into the studio. Definitely. The Poached Egg says Mbappe on a free, lads. I reckon he'd sit on the bench here.
Did you watch the documentary about him over the weekend on BBC One? Very good.
I will do. I'm watching 99 at the moment.
Catch it on the iPlayer.
Yeah, I will. I will watch it.
I'm too busy playing Dave the Diver. What a game.
Sounds good.
What it is, it's so addictive. So addictive.
Mark says, I generally think Sheamus started the last 2 games as he wanted to see if his body could handle it.
I mean, he doesn't pick the team, but it's fair play.
Abigail, no, is the reality to your question. I will read it out right now.
20 million people illegally streamed that fight over the weekend, apparently, costing the rights holders £95 million with 18% from the UK. Well, what does that tell you? What does that tell you about the price?
Stop ripping everyone off.
What does that tell you about the price? 2 fellas getting in a boxing ring and wanting millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds for it. What does that tell you? Maybe create something that where it's fair for everybody. And that goes for you as well, Premier League.
Jack, lad, they can't afford it right now.
What's that?
Man United, of course, they can afford it. They can't.
Got roofs to fix.
There's a lot going on there, and you're trying to balance PSR and pay Newcastle for Dan Ashworth and everything. If the PSR wasn't a thing, of course they could afford it. The richest clubs in the world, but look at Newcastle having to sell. Where are we? Sean Davis says 55 million from United plus Sancho and Rashford. Kenny says Man City want Branthwaite, Oscar Bob and Rico Lewis plus 50 million.
You do wonder whether they can even accept players within it, though, don't you? Because of the cash situation.
Abigail says if we sell an Onana, I'd go for Ndidi. Absolutely. Would you consider looking at Gabriel Sara from Norwich? 13 goals and 14 assists in 53 games. No. But this one, definitely no. And what about Josh Sargent? If
he's garbage. Behave yourself. He is garbage.
No, Abigail. No.
He is garbage.
Steve P says, Ped, when you were talking about that young Irish player in the Championship, were you talking about Sinclair Armstrong from QPR?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It was the one Paul told me about. Yeah, it's the one from West Brom.
Oh, the lad at West Brom.
I don't know.
Johnston.
Yeah.
He's done well. Kev Rex says, would you guys take Maguire in a make-weight deal for Branthwaite?
No chance.
Okay. Kev Murphy says that Goldbridge clown was live today saying United will not pay more than £55 million for Harris, as they will pay £40 million for Toledo. Who's Harris? Do you mean Jarrad? I don't know. I'm presuming you meant Jarrad there, Kev Murphy. Fazza says, is it true that Barkley's going to Villa?
Apparently, yeah.
He's desperate for him, apparently. The Irish Evertonian says Session for free would be quite good if we hadn't renewed Young. The similar players. He's younger and has lower ratings. Only because of his injuries. If he can stay fit, he'd be a good free transfer because he can play left wing, left back as well. Sophie loves fish finger butties, to be fair.
There you go. Get yourself to Greg's.
Go. Joe says, you lads playing any video games? Well, Pet just told you he's playing
Dave the Diver, mate.
The Diver.
Boss. Hey, Red Dead 2's on going free on the PS Plus. I know we've got it, but if anyone hasn't got it on the PS Plus, go and get yourself. What a game. Dave the Diver's boss, though. It seems like a mad premise, but it's brilliant. It's just so addictive. It's just one of those games that it's...
Yeah, but you were addicted to the...
Jet Wash? Because it's Jet Wash is good in it, Ned. He's nodding. Look, you can see, I know he hasn't brushed his head, but he isn't. I know.
Look at his t-shirt as well.
I know. I did say this to you before. Are you getting it early on?
I'm looking now and I can see the hair down. That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't he look...
That hair with the t-shirt.
Doesn't he literally look like he's just come in from a night out? Yeah. Like, literally.
And he's got his shorts on that. If he rubs his legs together, we'll go on fire.
Sparks, yeah. Camping. Good for camping, though.
Apparently.
If you
if you can't get the fire going. Yeah.
What? Sorry, you put wax in your hair and it looks like that? Put your camera on.
I'm not
Sorry, I'm your boss.
I am not surprised he doesn't want...
I'm coming over there and putting your camera on. Put your camera on. Put your camera on now. I am your boss. Put your camera on.
Oh,
no, put it...
work.
It is working and I'll come over and I'll make it work. Put your camera on.
I'll make it work.
I'll make it work. Go on.
It's for the show, Ned.
Put your camera
It's
on.
absolutely for the show.
Put your camera on. Come on.
It's for the show.
Put it on.
It's the quality of the show. Let's have a look at you.
Look at your head.
Come on, Ned.
It's not on.
Great TV, this. Come on, Ned. Come on, Ned.
You can replace me. I don't mind you replacing me. Go on. Right. Now, flick it over and lean back. Lean back.
Great TV.
It's almost like I can just walk over.
Rape.
Look at that head.
With wax on it. There's his t-shirt. I am terrified of women. And he's got wax on his head.
Why isn't the light on?
A messy look, though. A messy look. I mean, fair play to you. Look at that. Yeah. Now you've got a bit of colour in your face. There you go. There you go.
You look like you've done the walk of shame.
It's all good.
What do you do? Just leave. Just don't, Ned. You'll break something.
Ned, it's all
just
right.
leave it, Ned. You'll break something.
Just leave it, Ned. Don't break it. It's okay. Don't break it. Don't break it. It's the wrong colour. It's like... Ned, come on. Stop it.
I don't know a secret. I tried to curl my hair.
Okay. That's not bad. That's not... I was worried then when you said you want to know a secret.
My hair's really boring, so I want to try and curl it.
It's not boring today.
Now it's just a mess.
It's no, but it's got personality now.
So then my mum tried to curl it.
This isn't real, is it?
But you know it is real.
This was the result of my mum trying to curl it.
Why did you want curly hair? Like Fellaini?
Mine's just really boring.
So you wanted...
Did she use tongs? Do you know if you want it messy, you know what you need to use?
I use a diffuser.
No. Do you know what you use? No. Sea salt spray. Genuinely. Use that and it gives it a natural...
I just ordered some coconut curler.
What's happened here? What has happened to the Everton Daily Live? No, this cannot happen.
It's the summer.
This cannot happen.
Sea salt spray. Guarantee you, mate. Sea salt spray.
And a diffuser.
Well, I use a diffuser anyway, but...
I was like that.
Celtic Vape said you got a bed head, Ned.
It does look like a bed head, but it's nice. It's nice. It's all in the cut, though, Ned. Sometimes if you get your hair cut the wrong way, then it doesn't matter what you do to it. You can't change the shape of your hair.
Dave Murray says Ned is a young Bilbo Baggins.
Very young Bilbo.
Nathan says, how can you be terrified of women but still right Galway girl?
Come on now.
That's what he's like.
What are you talking about?
Curtis Ned is pure comedy.
He's his own man. He's his own person. He's his own human being.
Some people find my hair sexy.
How? When you've only had it like that for...
Emma says women are equally terrified of Ned.
Some people like...
Fair play, Emma. Ian says, do the seagulls sleep in Ned's hair?
They nest in it.
Yeah. Plan says, Baz, this is really happening. Dead Ned.
Do you reckon we should take Ned for a spray tan as well?
A spray
That
tan?
would be amazing. Generally would be amazing.
What you...
Ned with a spray tan would be amazing.
Where would you even take him for a spray tan?
Spray tan place.
Okay.
It is Liverpool. There are literally on every corner with the Turkish barber
To be fair.
and an ice cream parlour. God knows what they're doing in those places. But if you're watching the Responder, you might get a good idea.
What happens, John?
In the first... I can't tell you on here. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, okay. Say Howard Kendall says football inside. They say Man United are going to play their own games at Goodison while Old Trafford's being rebuilt. Listen,
How would they do that?
it'd be good if they did.
Yeah, they can just keep paying for Goodison and
Pay for
we'll be at Bramley Moore.
Yeah.
What if they came in, like, genuine question here, right?
I'm bought Goodison.
What if Man United came in and said, we want to play our home games at Bramley Moor, right? For like a year, and we'll give you like 50 million quid.
It's hard, man.
No, I know, but that's the dilemma, isn't it? That's the dilemma. Would you take that?
No.
No.
Man, 50 million was struggling. No, because it taints it. Once we were there,
Right, I'm just saying. But that's the thing.
You can play at Goodison for
It's the
50
first
million.
year, and you want to make it your own thing, and Man United come in and go, we'll give you 50 million quid.
No, didn't give us 37.5 million and play at Goodison.
All right.
You can have Goodison. For a year.
Would that not take Goodison?
No, we've moved on. Goodison was ours, and then we've moved on.
Is that like, you've seen someone going out with your ex-wife?
You just go, it's not nice, but we've moved on with this shiny new thing.
Fair play. All right. I think I'd take the 50 million.
And let them play it.
Yeah, I think so.
Terrible.
It's 50 million quid.
I know, but it's a new home.
Buy you a striker.
United would be like, yeah, it's our home as well.
No, but it wouldn't. It would be your home for a year.
No. Fazza says, Manx at Bramley Moor or Goodison, no thanks. Get a t-shirt, no thanks to the Manx.
I am
Or
scared
Manx,
of
no
Manc
thanks.
women.
Yeah. Right. 2 o'clock.
More than a game.
2 o'clock.
England squad announcements. I can't wait. I don't know who's going to be in it.
So excited. Dan's right, to be fair. They can't be the last team who played at Goodison Park. Can they?
You want them to be.
Correct. I just don't want them.
What if... No. What if the last game was Manchester United versus Everton?
And what we had to be.
We're the away team.
Oh, not even worse. No. Dan says the last time he let someone use our home, they never moved out. Well said. That's very good. We'll have that. And they put their red seats in. Be so wrong. Yeah. Let's just stop talking about it. Stay where you're at.
Yeah.
We're on More Than a Game in 5 minutes, which is Ned's put the magicness on, so you don't even have to change the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Just stay here. Stay here. Don't do anything. Subscribe.
Stay here.
Like this stream. Subscribe to this and subscribe to More Than a Game.
Just stay here. And
Be
it'll
much
take it over,
appreciated.
and we'll be back talking footy, and you'll be talking footy. Let's just move away from Everton as such. We can still
But
have
we still will mention Branthwaite.
we can still have our fish finger dinner butties, and we can still have Ned's hair. We can have all those good things. They're here. You've got them. They're safe.
them. Keep them.
They're safe.
Keep them.
But it'll be more general football.
Oh, generalness. See you in a bit.